So, RAWR. This one is not a PlayStation 1 game. This is a PlayStation 2 game. This is Radiata Stories. I personally genuinely loved this game. This game had so many characters in it, it was ridiculous. This game was very fun. Like, the storyline was very interesting and entertaining. The storyline, you could take two different paths, and each one was completely different, and you got a different set of people that became your friends. The people who became your friends, there's literally over 200 characters in this game. So you literally cannot get them all unless you play basically both storylines. The game itself was it had some serious moments in it, but it was mostly comical in a lot of places. Like, it wasn't just a game where you're like, oh, this is a storyline of great proportions, and oh my gosh, I'm going to save the whole world, and, you do save the world, but you do it with this guy who has a really good personality. And along the way, you meet all kinds of other people who also have interesting personalities. So these are the main characters here. Good grief. Doo-doo-doo. Wish I could get the glare off of RAR. There we go. Now there's no glare. So right here, this is the girl. She is not a playable character by you really as much. She's interesting, but the real main character, this is you. You're Jack. And your name is Jack Russell. Yes, like the terrier. And the whole game is fun. It's quirky. Here's some of the other characters. Anyway, the game is just full of people. There's just so many people in this game, it's ridiculous. And you get friends who are humans, you get friends who are elves, you get friends who are goblins, you get friends who are thieves, you get friends who are mages, you get friends who are children, you get friends who are elderly. It's ridiculous. There's literally so many characters. And the thing is there's actually night and day in this game. So you could be out traveling, and certain monsters are asleep at night, or certain monsters are asleep during the day, depending on whether or not they're nocturnal or not. There are characters that the only way that you can befriend them is talking to them at certain times of the day. The characters in the game actually have lives, and they go about them on a daily routine. They actually have their own thing that they do and their own people they're interested in. Some people won't become your friend unless you already have certain other people as friends. Some people won't become your friend unless you're already popular with, say, ladies, or say you already have befriended everyone else of their race, or things like that. So it's very interesting because not only do you run around killing things and saving the world and fighting and destroying evil monsters and blah blah blah, saving everybody from highly ambitious blah blah blahs. I don't want to give away the storyline and be like a spoiler, but you also spend the game basically, instead of gathering resources, just gathering friends. And there are some very, very cool costumes in the game. You can actually look like, one of my favorite costumes is you get to look like, from Star Ocean, you actually get to wear the costume, which is hilarious to me. There's the evil Dark Lord one where you literally look kind of like you're a miniature Sauron from Lord of the Rings. There's some very interesting costumes. There's even like the samurai or things like that. Anyways, there's lots of them. It's just an overall very funny game. At first, it feels slightly corny. You're like, this is mildly cheesy. And then you start to get into it, and you're like, I like this. It's cheesy because it works. So the main thing, I guess, that is my rant for this game is I really would have loved a sequel. And I guess, I'm weird like that, but I would have really liked I mean, this game had over 200 and something characters. I really would have liked to have had basically some sort of a sequel where you got to know all these other people's storylines better. Um, I love story. I love RPGs. I love MMORPGs. I think even the reason I prefer MOBAs for my PvP style is because all your little characters have a storyline. They all have lore with them, and I do like lore. I do like stories. Something I'm really liking in Guild Wars 2 is the lore and how they're incorporating lore from Guild Wars 1 into Guild Wars 2 and at the same time inventing new storylines. I love the personal story. That's awesome. The one of the main things I liked in WoW was the lore, and then they broke the lore, and they basically violated their own lore, and yeah, I didn't like that at all. Um, I felt like Star Wars did that to themselves. Whenever you break your own storyline, there is something wrong there, and I don't like it anymore. Um, the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, I've been reading that. The Wheel of Time series, it's 20 years now that this series has been being written, and it's insanely long. But the storyline has stayed true to itself the entire time. I mean, it's literally not gone off on tangents or anything. Um, or, oh, hey, you know, have, what's a good example? Good example of broken lore. Honestly, in my opinion, Cataclysm, Deathwing, he's broken lore all by himself. I mean, the very fact that he gets to fly around and destroy stuff and everything, when he got bound and destroyed and everything is just kind of off. And then uh, I don't know. It is what it is. That I'm sure eventually everything does it to themselves when it comes to video games because they want to make something cooler. I don't know. But this one, if they could redo this, but with like more in depth, all of the characters more in depth, or oh, whoops, not there's you can gather 175 people to yourself, but there are over 200 people in the game total. But you only actually get as playable and that you can actually use in combat and stuff 175. I just read the back of this, sorry. But anyways, it's still good. But still, I like knowing about people. Like when I meet people, I want to know them. Like when even dating and stuff, I'm not one of those people who likes to just jump into bed with someone. I like to get to know them first. Um, I like people's stories. I do. So I wish this game had like you could go down each person's storyline somehow or something. But otherwise, I genuinely enjoyed this game. This was just a good game, and I don't really have anything to rant about it overall, except when you walk, you do walk very stiffly, and you're like clump, 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 clump. So that's kind of funny. Anyways, yeah, that's it.